Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Celisa coming to you from Beautifully Me and You. And today I thought I'd reflect back on my financial journey and share with you guys some of the things that I wish I would have implemented earlier in life that have drastically changed my financial path today. All right? If that sounds like something that interests you, let's get right into the video. If you didn't know, today is the Christmas 12 Days of Christmas giveaway day 3. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull the gift right away. And let me go ahead and do that. Oh, Lord. I always think, which prize am I going to pull out? Let's see. Let's do this one. I don't even know how much they are. We're going to pull out this one. So the giveaway amount for today's video, which I'll be giving it away, telling the winner tomorrow, will be $40. Okay, we're getting there. I am like thinking, when is the $100? The gifts range from $10 all the way up to $100. We already did the smallest gift of 10, but we haven't done the largest gift of 100. But for today, day 3, it will be $40. So I'll give you guys the hashtag towards the end of the video. I just got to think about it. And right now I'm focusing more on the 7 financial habits that I wish I would have practiced earlier in life. I'm going to be using to write down these habits, the Easy Cash Budget Planner with Savings Challenges Special Edition. It does have notes page at the end of each month. So I'm going to use that for this particular purpose. It also has a bullet journal page, which I could bullet journal it as well. But no, I think I'm just going to use the notes page. So let me get some of these ornaments out of the way. All right, so these are the 7 habits that I would actually have implemented earlier on if I was aware of my financial path. You know what I mean? If I had a different mindset about money, I would have started these habits earlier. All right, the first one is, I would say, have an emergency fund. Since an emergency fund is the very first step of a budget, or at least in my opinion it is, I wish I would have set up an emergency fund earlier on. When I started finally saving for an emergency fund, what it did was put my mind focused on budgeting and focused on saving. And also, in having that emergency fund, whenever something emergency comes up, I immediately already have cash to go to versus having to lend directly into credit. That made a huge difference. So if an emergency occurs, I'm not working on interest rates and paying back other people, but instead I'm working on paying back myself. But it also keeps my mind focused on my money. And it keeps me actually striving towards saving and having a saving mindset. So I definitely would have established an emergency fund a lot sooner in life had I even known about it. Okay. Number 2 lends right into that. I would say I would have avoided debt. Now, avoiding debt, I mean, in some ways, I feel like there's good debt that can help you in the long run, like my mortgage, for instance. I bought my house about 12 years ago, and I do have quite a bit of equity in it now that I then can use if I wanted to sell or I needed to refinance or pull money out. It's possible, you know? So it really is an asset for me at this time. And in that, I feel like taking on that debt was something that I had to do. Now, maybe the debt of like my car, let's say. I wish I would have had enough money saved where I could purchase a cash car. But if I didn't have it, I don't mind even taking on the debt of a car payment because there's times you need a vehicle just to get back and forth to work to actually make money, you know? So when I speak about avoiding debt, I'm mainly talking about the debt that is not necessary, like buying things that we don't necessarily need just because we have credit available to us. And that would be like credit cards or taking out a Christmas loan, things like that. Like I would avoid that all the way through. And I hadn't done that in the past. I'm the girl who ran the credit cards, got the Christmas loans, got the payday loans. I did all that. So I'm not judging anybody if that's where you're at, but I'm saying if I can talk to my younger self, I would have said, avoid debt as much as possible and really try to budget and stay within your means, which lends right into advice piece number 3, which is Avoid keeping up with the Joneses. Keeping up with the Joneses could keep you broke. Period. I need to put a big old period right in the middle of that. Because I feel like when you see, your sister get a brand new car, then you want to go get a brand new car. Not even that you need a brand new car. Or if you see your friends traveling to, Hawaii, now you want to take a trip to Hawaii. Even if you haven't saved or budgeted for it, you just want to like keep up with them, travel the way they travel, spend the way they spend, buy luxury items the way that they buy electronics the way that they have. They got the newest phone, you want the newest phone. They got the newest computer, you automatically have the desire to get the newest computer. It's not listening to what you actually want from within, but being driven by external people. You know what I mean? Being driven by your friends, your family, and just trying to keep up with the Joneses. If I could change that, y'all, I could have had a whole nother different era in my 20s, okay? Because I was so busy trying to keep up with everybody else and just ran myself into debt doing just that. If you can, try not to keep up with the Joneses. You're on your path. Your path is so different than everyone else's, and I now know that. And you can be abundant on your path without chasing behind what someone else is doing, but instead staying focused to what you really want to do. If you really want that laptop, save for it. And when you get the money, go get your laptop and feel good about it. But you don't immediately just get called to action because, one of your friends or you saw it on Instagram, somebody else has it. That's keeping up with the Joneses. Try not to do that. The fourth step that I would say that I wish I would have took advantage of when I was younger was employee offerings. For instance, on my job, they offer a 401k match. So if I contribute a certain amount of 401k, they match it. I usually don't even see those funds come out of my check. You guys know when I sit down here to budget, I don't even include it. It's already deducted. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. And had I started that habit of just contributing to my employee offerings earlier, like in my 20s, how much more money I would have saved towards retirement at this point. It's huge. It grows by leaps and bounds. The younger you start, the more it can compound. So I definitely wish I would have started that earlier. And if you're a young person watching this, get on it. It seems like it's going to be a lot that you're contributing, but it's going to be a small amount. You won't even realize it's coming out of your check. And later in life, when you look back, you'll be so happy that you did. That's one of the things that I wish that I changed. The next one would be multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income, I'm telling you. I don't know. I should bring a video talking about how I manifested some passive income for myself. But basically, for about 3 or 4 years ago, I got really heavy into asking God for passive income ideas. And they have flourished in so many ways. And I believe they're continuing to flourish. That wasn't even in my mindset before. My younger years, all I thought about was working multiple jobs. I did have that idea. I'd always have like 2 jobs, 3 jobs. People are like, you always a hustler. You always got a whole bunch of jobs. Yeah, I'd have that going on. But I never really thought about passive income ideas and how money could be working for me behind the scenes without me actually clocking in. For some reason, I tied every dollar to clocking in. And as long as I clocked in and worked hard for it, I would receive it. But there's so many other income ideas out there that don't require that, So I wish I would have got started on multiple streams of income, especially passive income, earlier in the game. Fun fact about me, I happen to have like a life reading done by this Hindi astrologer. And he said, you're going to be a person who has multiple streams of income. And when he said that to me, this was just a couple of years ago. When he said that to me, I had already been manifesting and asking for that. So it was ironic that he actually said that to me, but somehow that like sparked something inside of me, sparked a new belief that it was possible for me. And I started putting in action towards setting up multiple streams of income, and it has just taken off by leaps and bounds. Part of it being YouTube, my book sales, some other business ventures that I have, but I do have several different incomes coming in from different places. And if I would have started this earlier in life, where would I be now? I'm not ever saying I regret where I was at that time financially, but if I was speaking to my younger self, I definitely would say, look into some passive streams of income and start setting up multiple streams of income for yourself now. It's never too late. The next bit that I would give myself, or tip that I would give myself, would be to seek financial advice. Now, I've always been the person who pretty much, dealt with my finances, researched on my own, watched YouTube videos to get financial advice. But yeah, all that stops in 2022. I haven't actually started to hire a financial team at this point, but I am going to look into getting a CPA. I am going to look into getting a financial advisor and someone that can help me. That financial advisor will be helping me with investments. I don't want to just wing it on my own, and I don't just want to be out there willy-nilly. I want to take it pretty seriously with some financial planning goals for 2022. Okay. So I definitely feel like this is something I should have done earlier on, but maybe because I didn't have so much money flowing in, I didn't take the time to actually invest in looking into those things. But it is not about the amount of money that you have coming in to establish a tax accountant or a CPA or a financial team of any sort. If you feel like you want some financial advice, there's nothing wrong with consulting professionals who actually went to school for it and allowing them to kind of set up a plan for you that you guys can collaborate and agree upon. And that's one of my biggest goals for 2022. I'm going to get that started. I've started researching a lot of financial counselors, and as I get more information from them, I'll be bringing that to you guys next year. But for right now, just know, if in my younger years I could have said something to that person back then, because I've been doing my own taxes. If in my younger years I could have given some extra advice, it would have been to seek a financial team. All right. And the last thing that I would say is one of the tips that helps that I wish I would have known sooner was fostering an abundant mindset. Fostering an abundant mindset. Now, I don't know, how this actually came about with me. I think it was financial steps along the way that has now made me foster a more abundant mindset. I've always been someone who believes strongly in law of attraction, in God, in prayers, and things working out the way that they should. But I think somewhere deep down in my subconscious, I still had some of those money blocks that were passed down generationally from my mother or my grandmother or my grandmother's mother, where we had to work hard to get everything that you get. My mom is a very hard worker, a strong budgeter. And so I picked up some of those habits kind of earlier, but I don't think I really believed abundance could be mine. I grew up in a middle class family, so abundance meant middle class. But really, to move beyond that and stretch the limits as far as what is possible, I had to change some of my mindset and start to believe that I could achieve the things that I wanted, and that I'm not being selfish or greedy to want some of the finer things in life and to want more, period. That's another one. Stick a period on there. That's not a bad mindset to have. A lot of inner work as to where these thoughts came from that limited the amount of money that I can make per month. Now, maybe I felt comfortable making $4,000 a month, but to make $10,000 a month, that sound, I make $10,000 a month. Do I really need that much? Is that all that what am I going to spend all that on? Like, that type mindset is not of abundance. And I had to do a lot of work to work on my fostering an abundant mindset so that I can grow to the next level. And I'm still working on it. So I'm a work in progress. But I believe if I would have started this work when I was younger, how much further I would have been right now. I did take a money mindset course, and that helped. I've also been doing a lot of meditation around my money mindset. And with those things comes inspiration to do more. And I've been actually leaning into the inspirations that I've been given and going with them and not feeling guilty about growing a business or doing more, receiving more. Those are all of the 7 financial habits I wish I would have known when I was younger, possibly in my 20s or even beforehand, that I could have implemented even sooner and that I'm still working on today. Most of these things, I'm still working on it, okay? I am not perfect. Just because I'm here telling you the lessons I think I learned does not mean that I'm 100% learning them. Okay. I'm still growing, learning, evolving, changing, and working on some things myself. Maybe this will jog something within you to work on as well. So, yeah. All right. With all that being said, I'm going to close this out with the hashtag for day 3 of the 12 days of Christmas. And let's see. I got to get to the song because I never remember what it is. We got on the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree, 2 turtle doves, 3 French hens. That's what it is. So let's see. 3 passive income sources. That's what he gave us. Wouldn't that be cool? Hashtag that down below. Put the hashtag that you see on the screen down below in the comments, and you could possibly be picked for the winner of day 3 of the 12 Days of Christmas giveaway, which is a $40 gift card or Cash App of your choice. So don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with others. Maybe they need the information of something to spark within them of one of these 7 habits that they can implement in their life right now. Okay? And I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Well, hey, you guys, it's time to pick day 2's winner of the 12 Days of Christmas. Of course, today we'll be paying for a $10 gift card. You had to have in your comments hashtag 2 budget planners from yesterday's video, and let's see who won the $10 gift card. The winner is Nikki W. Congratulations, Nikki. Please reach out to me on Instagram through DM, and I'll get you your $10 gift card. Take care.